City Council meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, May 12th. It is 7:01 p.m. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Johnson,
Here.
Alderman Montoya, Alderman Ruthenberg,
Here.
Alderman Fairwell,
Here.
Alderman McGee,
Here.
Alderman Carr, here, Alderman Roll,
Here.
what was that line? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's online. And I need a just for technicality, we need a motion to allow Alderman Roll to remotely come in. Alderman Fairwell, seconded by Alderman Ruthenberg. All in favor, say aye. Okay, you have a quorum. Next, we have a presentation of journal proceedings. We need a motion to approve the minutes from April 28, 2026 City Council meeting. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Fairwell, second by Alderman McGee. On the question, clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya,
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg,
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman McGee,
Aye.
Alderman Carr, Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Good night, Your Honor.
Carries. Next, we have public comment. As a reminder, the public comment period is not a time for dialogue. The purpose of the public comment period is for the mayor and aldermen of the city to receive input from their community. It is in fact a one-way communication to the city council. The city's administration and department heads are available for discussions after the meeting. Public comment.
Mayor, I'm Raleigh Dawson, owner's representative for Builders Capital, the taking possession of the Metro South Medical Center. The history of that site was in 2019, Everhart Development Company bought the site for $20 million. They took 5 years to find an alternate use for the facility unsuccessfully. Dan McNulty was their local representative that is now no longer part of the project. Charles and Eddie Dubner, principals of Everhart Development, failed and have we're now in receivership and taking control of the property. We intend to redevelop the site, reposition the site for current viable use. And my responsibility is to be the project leader for the current ownership taking over from the previous failed developers. So the history of that has been unsuccessful development, $80 million spent to date. The lenders are now taking possession of the property, and we intend to, with city comment, appropriately redevelop the site. So with that, I brought Jason Metcalf, Gensler Architects, with me to listen to public comment, introduce ourselves, and bring the city on board with helping us redevelop what the city would like to see in that location and do it responsibly. But you know, we do own the site at this point, and we intend to redevelop it in a way that's viable and kind of make up for failures over the last 5 years. So with that, I'm open for further discussions, but I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself, our team, and the Builders Capital and their joint lenders in New York City, Solidograde, have high hopes for developing what Blue Island would like to see in that location. Right now, we're spending about $400,000 a month doing nothing with the site, taking responsibility for it. And obviously, that's not sustainable. So with that, I'm Raleigh Dawson, owner's representative. I live and work in Seattle, Washington, and I'm here because of my previous experience with the failed developers, and we're here to take care of things moving forward. So, I can pass out my business cards as appropriate. We're here transparently to redevelop the site and do it in such a way that is consistent with your plan for the city moving forward. So with that, any other suggestions on further introductions?
Normally in public comment, we don't have dialogue back and forth unless I'm not gonna, the alderman has a question they want to ask. I'm not gonna stop them, but if not, no, we don't have usually dialogue during public comment.
Okay.
Well, unless an alderman wanted to ask a question.
I wouldn't mind, one of your cards.
Alderman McGee?
Yes. I wouldn't mind one of your cards. What would your contact?
Okay.
You can get back to that.
Treasurer Rita.
It was brought to my attention or our attention that you were contemplating, a data center. Is that true?
That's our current plan. We,
All right,
How is that viable?
okay.
So-
This
so-
is not, it's not on the agenda. This is public comment. Anybody can speak at public comment. I opened it up. If an elected official had a question, nothing has been submitted to the city. I've said this now 4 meetings. There's plenty of opportunity for dialogue and questions. Trust me, there is plenty of opportunity. This is just public comment. Alderman.
Mr. Mayor, I would suggest that this is public comment, we probably should just limit it to that. This needs to go, as we talked about last time, to the proper channels, which would not be this, frankly, so I don't think we should have dialogue, right?
A little bit of color to your question. My task was to consider all options for redevelopment of the site. Tunnel to Towers was a very viable, well-capitalized, well-intended, home for, veterans housing. I know the past developers unsuccessfully thought that veterans housing was going to be the way to reemploy the property. It failed. The building is, for example, Tunnel to Towers, after several months of consideration with their, all the way up to, Siller, basically concluded that this building is 600,000 square feet. It's designed as a hospital instead of a veterans housing project. A big project for Tunnel to Towers would be 50 veteran housing units on an annual basis. This would be 500. So they said it's way out of their capabilities, and frankly, it would be like redeveloping an entire community, an entire city. It's a massive building, and its purpose designed and built for hospitals. It has one central power plant, one boiler plant. The building across the street on the other side of the tunnel is also connected to the same power plant, and right now has no heat, no power. We have had no natural gas on site. The building is basically deteriorated to the point where even if we turn the water on now, we would, you'd find that a lot of the building's plumbing systems have been destroyed through lack of heat. There's been electricity in the building for fire life safety issues, so that the police department founders can find their way through the building safely. We have 24/7 monitoring of the facility, which is obviously very expensive, 7 days a week. And so it needs to find a home. The previous for-profit hospital operator experienced 15 years of failure, according to from the board directly that operated the hospital. And at the end, it failed as a for-profit hospital. It previously failed as a not-for-profit hospital. Feedback that I've gotten with an honest look at many different uses was the building that just basically was designed back in the day when It was a premier cardiac hospital back in the fifties, sixties, was my feedback. But it is now an obsolete design, obsolete hospital. It's in the wrong place, and the healthcare system has moved in such a direction that it just simply can't support financially the hospital as it's currently designed. So that was considered, and the data center option basically came as a result of there were no viable options other than that could frankly provide the could not provide the financial performance to support the building as it is, support the loan repayment, and frankly, there are a lot of concepts about not only other uses but also data centers that really need to be corrected with what we are actually intending instead of just kind of going by ears. So with that, I will say that there's a lot of education that can be done, that can be had with people that are interested in finding out what we're really trying to accomplish. Well, with what kind of equipment, what kind of on-site power generation, with natural gas, what the sound levels really are, and what the final designs will be, and what some local comparatives, successful comparatives have been. So with that, we're coming in with an open mind and an open invitation to entertain any and all concerns and have a fair hearing.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Please. Yes,
Thank you.
please.
We're not gonna have dialogue.
Yes, I understand.
All right,
Do I come up here? Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Just to clarify with the city, and I've said it 4 times now, nothing's been submitted. The situation would be if something was submitted, it would have to go through Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals first and foremost. Nothing's been submitted to that committee, therefore nothing could be sent to the city council committee or city council to even to discuss or have dialogue with or vote on or anything, because nothing's been submitted yet. I can't deny anybody from speaking a public comment, so thank you.
I can't comment on what they have planned. All I can do is comment on what has been planned in similar situations. This is from Gemini AI. I own a nonprofit, therefore it is the second to top grade of Gemini AI. In other words, it's pretty good. So, in terms of actual noise, we're comparing what would be put here to a similar sized facility that was put in Cumberland County in New Jersey. The actual noise would be probably constant low frequency industrial hum, keeping us, excuse me, I'm shaking like a leaf, up at night. Electricity use would be approximately 300 to 350 megawatts, enough to power a small city. Approximate water use, and we don't know where they're getting the water from, would be 20 million gallons annually. Let me give you a little firmer approximation of what this would bring to our community. I'm a teacher and I can't believe I'm sick leave.
I'm a teacher myself.
This
I'm still not used to
matters
it.
so much to our community that I just found out 3 days ago. So again, this is AI. This is not me. This is AI research. Gemini AI backs up everything with citations, and I could read you off the citations. So anticipated for this site, water consumption would be data centers at this scale can consume 110 million gallons of water annually for evaporative cooling. Residents are particularly concerned about the impact of Lake Michigan freshwater resources. We should be particularly concerned about the impact on Lake Michigan freshwater resources, although I don't understand how this facility would be able to get to Lake Michigan, but I guess they would do it through our present canal system. The noise pollution, like the situation in Cumberland County, it's going to be a constant industrial hum. Again, from if this site is utilized to its size limit, which I would assume it would be in order to maximize profit, in order to minimize the losses that this company or now the new company has, that they're absorbing, daily. They said, I think 400,000, 40,000, some huge amount of money. So I imagine they're going to utilize the site to its fullest capacity. So if they did, the noise, pollutions would be the constant industrial hum from cooling fans. And as he mentioned, backup diesel generators, which can be heard for hundreds of feet away from the facility. The grid and infrastructure strain would be the issue that the facility is on 24/7. And this would strain Blue Island's current infrastructure and lead to higher electricity rates for all of us. Because their electricity is not separated from ours. Okay, toxic emissions, backup diesel generators, common at the sites, release pollutants such as nitrogen oxides and carbon monoxide. I understand the need to make a return on investment. But this is my community, and I want to live here until old age. Thank you.
Yes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Marie Bindeman, 12738 Greenwood Avenue. The issue before the council over the coming weeks or months will be weighing the pros and cons of data centers and other potential developments for the property on Gregory. As a citizen of Cook County, the city of Blue Island, and the state of Illinois, I'd like to address some of those issues. I think Jeanette before me did a great job on the pollution issues. The pollution issue for the data center, first of all, is the proposed site, as we're all aware, is in the center of town. At a site that used to be, like back in the day of the Ulrich Mansion, it was a residence, it became a hospital. It has never been considered something for industrial use. I'm particularly upset with the idea of this, as a citizen of Cook County, the steep increases to my taxes the last few months, only to find as I go to the Cook County website that they're actually giving incentives to data centers to come in. And the reason that that's a little bit disturbing is when I look at other communities within Cook County and find how much of my taxes have gone to make sure that they get things that return income, that enhance the community, that enhance the returns, where all of a sudden we've got this proposal that is a detriment to our community. When I think of communities for a person like myself to age in, where I'm looking for quality of life, the idea of a data center is not something that I have pictured over the years. I propose that a business like a data center not be considered pending completion of the bill before the Illinois Senate and the House, State Bill 4103 and House Bill 5513, which propose changes to the various sections of the Illinois compiled statutes, including the Environmental Protection Act and the Public Utilities Act. Otherwise, this type of chicanery will resemble what we saw with the hospital, when the decision to close a hospital that was very functional and was closed as a matter of, it's the, as I talked about last time, the game of private equities who strip the hospital of everything, claim they're not making money, and then just shut it down. And that was all done before Governor Pritzker could install the teeth back into the hospital review board that Governor Rauner had taken out. Technological innovations are evolving rapidly. One of the big concerns, as Jeanette just mentioned, is the water use. I've been talking to a lot of people over the last few weeks, and what I understand is that the industry is promoting that now they've got closed loop water use, which says that they can reduce the water use by up to 70%, sometimes equivalent to the demand of about 1,000 households. I don't believe that studies have been undertaken that can guarantee that our infrastructure is up to such expanded use. The citizens will be left holding the bill, from my experience, And the company has no ties, to not take their ball and just go home and leave us holding the bill. We'll probably also be told that the coming design improvements can remove heat and limit water use. That these improvements include air cooling and immersion cooling, and potentially that we'll hear that the proposed development will incorporate renewable energy resources, solar and wind technologies, to kind of sweeten the deal and make it look like we're not going to be holding the bill on our bills coming down from the Braidwood new plant and Dresden new plant and LaSalle new plant. All those places we're already paying for, and all of the infrastructure improvements that ComEd is already loading into our bills. And I can talk in another meeting about some of the increases in bills that we've seen as residents. Most of these data centers dangle only short-term economic impact, such as donations to parks, schools, improvements, STEAM curriculums, etc. But overall, the addition of a black building, of a belching, roaring, water-sucking generator and air conditioners just 100 feet from the center of our business district is somewhat of a dystopian Dr. Seuss Lorax type of picture in my head. This is in stark contrast to the image that many long-time residents like myself have held, where we have been steadfastly involved in the improvement of this town. And spent a lot of time nurturing the town, planting planters, picking up litter, improving our houses, and then to, find out that, somebody from outside, from Washington DC thinks that this is what we need in the center of our town. And it's what many of us lovingly equate with Bedford Falls. There has to be something more suitable for us. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Evening.
I'm Lynn Ingersoll. I live at 2029 Grove. I came here in 1993 to work at the library and never left, even though I retired a long time ago. Blue Island has come to be very special to me. I care deeply about its future, and I would like to see the changes that the mayor has instituted continue. We need development. We do not need a data center based on water usage, electric, noise. It's inappropriate to have that sort of facility in the middle of a congested residential area if we want Blue Island to stay the kind of welcoming place that I know it to be. So please, when it comes up, if it comes up, consider carefully the future. I'm old. I'm not going to be around for a lot longer, but I want Blue Island to be successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Brian Meadows, resident here at Blue Island. I just wanted to let everyone know that this Sunday you can help beautify our community. Volunteer 10 a.m. here at the City Hall steps for the annual planting of summer color, where we will be filling the planters with the updated summer colors and keeping the city a nice, beautiful place. Just wanted to let everyone know there's a great opportunity to volunteer here in the city to keep our community great. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Okay, good evening, Mayor, and to our automatic council, and to all the membership of Blue Island that's here this evening. Now, I've listened to what's been proposed.
about the data center. I've listened to the history that and then data collection that's been made by individuals. All of that needs to be considered. Now, I'm in my seventies now. We moved to Blue Island by 14, 15 years ago, and it's a beautiful place. Okay, now someone else just came up and they're talking about doing planters. My conversation to you this evening was that this past Sunday we had Mother's Day. Mission Covenant Church, that is the church I represent, 2501 Collins Street. The minute our church prepared a meal for us, they didn't go out and buy it. Each one laid their hands on food and constructed wonderful meals for us to have on Sunday. Now, the ladies, and that was for the women of the church in our fellowship room. Now, that was a wonderful day on Sunday. We plan to have Father's Day there and to do likewise for our men and uphold them and give them gifts and show them how much they're loved. But let's just show our community and our world how much we love ourselves. And if something that wants to be brought in from outside of this community, and somehow they decided that Blue Island is the place, and we know that it isn't, let's fight to keep Blue Island a safe place for me to continue to grow old in and for our children to grow up in. And don't let it happen. Don't let it just be taken over by any structured organization that wants to make money. Okay, so if there's a way we can fight back with this, let's fight back with it. Now, I come up here all the time to give you the pleasantries of Mission Covenant Church and what we're doing here in the community, and we will continue to do work in this community. But let's just make sure that we have a community that we can continue to do work in. And I thank for you gracefully that you're listening to me, but let's, as you listen, and you have to go in the back room to make decisions or talk to other governmental officials about whatever it is that you need to talk to them about. Keep us in mind. Keep your own families in mind. Okay, because there's only so much that we can do. We can protest. We can stand to do planters. We can march around to clean up the community. We can do all these things to help each other. But let's just think about mankind and not just the almighty buck. So have a good evening.
Come on.
Good evening, Mayor Bellato, Alderman, Dexter, City Admin, Treasurer, and Attorney Blake. Okay, so for the record, my name is Joseph Cervantes. I'm a resident of the Forest View Mobile Home Park and the interim secretary of the Forest View Residents Council. So I'm here tonight not on behalf of the neighbors that we have left in the park. My last count was 22 families left out of almost 60 we had counted last summer. I mean, last winter, sorry about that. There's a lot to catch up on. However, I only have 3 minutes roughly, and even though I'm not here to talk about a data center that ultimately will not happen, I say that because I remember reading an article that clearly stated that Representative Bob Rita was adamant that the old hospital would not be turned into a data center. So I'm confident he will keep his stance on that. So moving on to Forest View and the city's long-winded and strong game plan to shut down a unique community that's been in existence for nearly 50 years. So because of time, we have a simple request. We're requesting from the city as we wind down as we near the shutdown of our park. We are requesting a dedicated liaison that the city council could choose, whether it's our own alderman, Dexter Johnson, or an intern new to city resident relations, or maybe even a volunteer from a local nonprofit. Yeah, we're requesting weekly, maybe 30-minute Zoom calls with this liaison. The hope is to have a direct line of communication between the residents and the city admin as a whole. This would tentatively be just for a short period. The current timeline has the majority of our residents vacating by the end of May. We are told the ultimate in-stone date for our shutdown is July 1st. Please consider this request. We don't believe it will take too many of the city's resources. We also believe it's the smartest route forward. We're also trying to prevent the worst case scenario of some residents saying that the city will come in with the sheriff and the city Blue Island Police Department to remove people. But if we work together, I doubt that will even happen. So that's all, simple request. I appreciate you guys' time tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Judith Neer, and in our last meeting I came and spoke, but I really didn't get like personal with it, but today I will. And in the last meeting, it was suggested by Mr. Roll that, instead of coming up here and complaining, that we be proactive about, the lives we're trying to live. And I have been proactive, and I'm very close to opening up my own clinic here in Blue Island, because I'm a massage therapist and I'm also an acupuncturist, so I am educated, and I did take like microbiology and all that stuff to know about like dormant viruses. So it was one thing to learn about them, but then to get hands-on experience, because I remember when I was doing my clinicals, getting ready to graduate, is when the hospital closed and people lost their jobs, and I'm just feeling their stress, and what I saw is like making me remember that. But it was a stressful time for people to lose their jobs and have the negative effects of the hospital closing, because that is what happens is people get like dormant. We all have viruses in our body, and when you get hit with a lot of stress, whether it's like work stress or like constant like stimulation in your ear canals, like things are going to happen. They're going to be like, oh, it's a virus. And then people think like viruses come from the air, but a lot of times it's in you. So what I'm trying to say is that I am trying to have my clinic here and help people here the right way, what I feel is like the like a noble way, and I've worked really hard, to get there, and I'm really, really close. And then to find out that like developers are just trying to come in and ruin that for the south side, because around here, if you want any type of needling done, there's not a lot of acupuncturists around here to offer that service. You have to go to like a chiropractor or a physical therapist that did like 100 hours of training, which is, in my opinion, a little dangerous. So I'm trying to offer and do good in this community that I was like born and raised in. And to like have even the idea of having a data center like that is kind of like, I don't want to say crazy, and I don't want to say like people are not like good innovators and, can't really think of like solutions that are good for everybody, not just for you, because I would imagine like the hardest part of your job is to come here and face people like me. That's what I would imagine. I don't know. So I'm just saying, I want to do good for Blue Island, and I've done the work, and a data center is not a good solution or a smart one, that's all I have to say.
Any public comments?
You got none. Hello, everyone. Yeah, my name's Joao. I'm a resident of Blue Island. Wow, that is just such upsetting news to hear. I don't want to be too pessimistic or too dramatic, but this idea of a data center in the center of the town would be the death of the town. Just a few days on from the Mayfest that we were all together, what an incredible experience that was. Everyone together, businesses thriving. To kind of have a mental image of 10 years from now, Blue Island potential could be a footnote, because there would be an exodus leaving this town. Who would want to buy next to a data center? I mean, you've heard about all the stats, very true stats, and the consequences of a data center. But I mean, I think I want to tell the gentleman behind that we will mobilize and we will protest against this idea, because to me, it's just, I just can't imagine why the data center would be built there, and to try, it's kind of offensive to try to tell us that there's no other viable option. And I hope you can tell his superiors, whether they're back in Seattle, wherever, that we will not allow this to happen. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Any other public comment? All right.
No. I just want to take a second to congratulate Blue Island for having the most attendance at Mayfest this year. I think that's an amazing accomplishment. So let me go to the top of my notes. Okay. Hello, my name is Sochi Zapata. I am a Blue Island resident and I was born and raised in this wonderful town. I'm also a recent graduate of University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, where I studied cognitive science and computer science at one of the top computer science institutions. During my studies, I took courses focused on the ethics and societal impacts of emerging technologies. Tonight, I want to ask our town leaders a simple but important question. What is the opportunity cost of this project? If a data center is being presented as a primary path towards economic growth for Blue Island, then we must also ask, what could it cost our community economically, culturally, and socially? Blue Island's charm comes from historic authenticity. Vincennes Avenue is one of the oldest roads in Chicago, and it runs through the heart of our town. More than a century ago, that road represented economic opportunity and connection. Travelers stopped here on their journey towards Chicago, and our community grew around that movement of people, culture, and local business. Our history still lives in the layout of our streets, our storefronts, and our landmarks. Places like Eagles, which have stood over 100 years, remind us of Blue Island's identity, and it is something rare and valuable. Now we are considering transforming part of our town so close to our main business district into something that would be essentially a wall of industrial infrastructure, accompanied by the constant noise pollution of machinery that has no connection to the people who live here or the history that we carry. What will that mean for the businesses that rely on foot traffic, tourism, and the unique atmosphere of our uptown? What happens when our visitors can no longer walk these streets when the presence of noise pollution and without the presence of noise pollution and industrial disruption? What happens when potential new business owners turn to more hospitable areas because they're not fond of the sound? In a town where so much of our economic activity depends on aesthetic charm, local culture, and historical character, we have to ask whether this kind of development could ultimately undermine the very qualities that make Blue Island economically viable in the first place. Beyond that, we should ask whether dedicating such a large piece of our land to a facility with limited public interaction is truly the best use of space. Could that land instead support development that can more directly serve residents, local businesses, and community life? If these towers are being promoted as engines of economic growth, then we must also consider the consequences that they may already have on what is flourishing and what we have here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Hello, Mayor Bellato, hello, council. My name is Veronica Cullinan. I have been a resident of Blue Island since 2016, so for 10 years now. My husband and I rented in 2016 and loved it so much and saw the potential that this town had that we wanted to purchase our home here in 2019 as well. We invested every dime we had to buy our home. We were first-time homeowners. We were 25 years old. I told everyone from Orland Park that I'm living somewhere better than where you are. This place is it. People here in Blue Island, we did not move here because it was all we could afford. We moved here because this place is rich, it has history, we all have a piece in it, every single one of us, we're neighbors, right? Please, please keep continuing to show that that is what our moral compass is here in Blue Island. I love this place. When people would make fun of us for where we live, which I disagree with them from the bottom of my heart, I will fight for this town till I die. I have a lot of time left, and I want to thank my community members who came up here and are fighting in what the time they have here in Blue Island with us is. I have a lifetime ahead of me. Please, please, please continue to invest in what is good for our community, what is good for our people, and what's going to keep Blue Island this rich, historical, hidden gem that people sometimes don't even realize what they're missing out on. We are not dumb. We're not a small town that people can come in and convince us of things that we know are not true. We are not stupid. We are not dumb. We are a multi-generational community, My grandparents, my mom was born at St. Francis. My grandpa worked there. I mean, for God's sake, like, please keep on keeping Blue Island what it is. It is a hidden gem. We are an island for a reason. We are not Chicago. We are not the South. We are Blue Island. Thank you.
Any public comment?
Hello, good evening, Mayor, Council, Alderman, Blue Island. I am a resident of Blue Island as well. I grew up here. I came as a foster child in 86, 87. So I was here around Clark, so I don't understand why they would bring more pollution when they got rid of Clark. I was also a survivor at Eisenhower for the Clark explosion and the payouts that they had. I'm sorry, I'm nervous too. Also, my children were born at St. Francis. I lived right around the block from St. Francis. Not sure why the hospital shut down. I was gone during that time, but I'm back. Also, I want to introduce myself. I'm Shannon Delgado, and I am the new owner of Elevade Professional Business Solutions. And I offer notary, new business formations, and business compliances. We are also in the process of doing a non-for-profit called Elevade Foundation Chicagoland. And the main goal is to get accredited with the Department of Justice because we would like to help people do their immigration papers. I know ICE hit us very bad October, September. And I did some work with the Hope Center delivering food for the families that were afraid to come out and buy. And it was a good, tremendous support, and I want to offer that to the community, being that when I first came here, the population was predominantly Italian, Mexican, and white, and African American. And I know a lot of our Latino community members were very afraid to come out. So my goal is to be able to help them with that once I become accredited with the Department of Justice with my non-for-profit to help them do things the right way. Because that was the big fight, if they just did it the right way. So I'm here to help them. Also with the non-for-profit, we want to teach people that are entrepreneurs how to open, run, and successfully have their businesses from start to finish. So one of our programs I would like to have is called Cardinal to CEO. I would like to work with the Eisenhower students to bring them from entrepreneurship to being LLC owners. As well as another program I'd like to work with, being I was a DCFS age out, growing up here in the streets of Blue Island, sometimes homeless. But I know at a certain age, being in DCFS, they don't want us at 10 years old because we're damaged goods. And a lot of us just get bounced around from group homes and foster homes. And some of us just age out without education. And more or less how to do credit, financial, and other things. And I want to offer that through my program as well. So that program through the non-for-profit would be at risk to asset. That's one of my programs I'd like to offer. So I just wanted to introduce myself and let people know that we're here. We're notaries, so come on by if you all need a notary. The currency exchange, I guess, lost theirs, so I'm here. I'm at Dunkin' Donuts, so when you go to get a coffee, come on, see me, I'll give you a stamp. Thank you, and no data center, please. We lost one pollution, we don't need more.
Hello, I just want to make a comment that when people are up here talking, it takes a lot of courage to come up here and you're saying, and what you're saying is very personal to you. So can you please refrain from having your conversations, speaking loudly because you don't let us hear what people are saying. It's called respect. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Any other public comment? We'll say it 3 times. Now I'm gonna ask for recess. There's nothing on the agenda tonight regarding the property formerly known as Metro South Hospital. However, anybody can speak at public comment, and we have a process in place. I know there's more people here, and I've said it 4 times now at different meetings. Any application would have to go through planning and zoning. It would not come straight to city council. There'd be a lot of opportunity, very transparent opportunity, whatever is gonna be the use of that property. Would be put out there on Facebook and other means. But right now, nothing's been submitted. And anybody can speak at public comment, as we can see tonight. So there's no other public comment. I'm gonna ask for recess. It's been about an hour. And I'm gonna ask one more time. Any other public comments? All right, I'm gonna ask for a 3-minute recess. We're gonna open up the meeting to continue, so if you have conversations, you can stay and sit or recess to the antechamber. Again, we're starting the meeting, going back to the regular agenda. All right. Under mayor's report, we need a motion to approve payroll dated May 8th, 2026, the amount of $440,435.77. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Carr, second by Alderman Johnson. On the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Alderman Carr. Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Seven
Motion
ayes, Your
carries.
Honor.
D, we have a motion to approve accounts payable dated May 13th, 2026, in the amount of $935,968.01. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Fairwell, second by Alderman Ruthenberg. A question? Clerk, Alderman Fairwell.
Just a quick comment, of no particular note, but in this particular set of payables, I noticed that we're spending about $50,000 defending various lawsuits, which is really just a good lesson in why we want to follow a good process. Thank you.
Thank you. The question? Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Alderman Carr. Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Seven ayes, Your Honor.
Motion carries. Next, we have an ordinance for the city of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, amending chapter 30, the city council code of Blue Island. This is the committee meeting as discussed to move after city council meetings. We're adding an additional committee meeting to the month after city council. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman McGee, second by Alderman Carr on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Alderman Carr. Alderman Roll.
No.
Six ayes, Your Honor.
Motion carries. Under D, a resolution for the city of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, ratifying the purchase of ultra mag flow meters from Core, Maine. These are the meters from Chicago, correct? This is the required improvements for the meters that meter the water coming from the city of Chicago, not home meters. Is there a motion? Alderman McGee, second by Alderman Johnson on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Alderman Carr. Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Seven ayes, Your Honor.
Motion carries. Last, we have a resolution for the city of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, approving proposal from Buckeye Power Sales as discussed for our power generators for police, fire, public works. Is there anything the administration wants to add? This is the East Annex also.
Correct, yeah. Recently we passed our maintenance agreement with Buckeye for our generators throughout the city.
Mhm.
This is, when they conducted their annual maintenance for the, generator here at the East Annex. They found that there was antifreeze and oil mixed in, which basically was a head gasket. They laid out two options. One being, rebuilding the existing motor. Second option would be what we are proposing here tonight is just, replacing the motor. There are additional costs associated with rebuilding the motor and it's not guaranteed, so it's better to spend the extra $3,000 just to replace the engine rather than rebuilding the engine.
Is there any questions for Mr. Pataska? Anything, clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
We do.
Let's make a motion. I'm sorry, did I miss something? Make a motion, Alderman McGee, is there a second? Alderman Carr, on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Alderman Carr. Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Seven ayes, Your Honor.
Motion carries. Our mayor's announcements. Happy Mother's Day this past weekend. We also had Mayfest. Great turnout, great weather, over 100 vendors, thousands of people. Great show of Blue Island and people from outside coming in and looking forward to next year. Maybe we can try to do another one. If not, the Arts Alliance might kill me if I keep pushing that idea. But it was a great event, a great weekend. I know vendors were sold out prior to even closing, so that's a great sign of a great event. So I want to thank everybody involved in that, the Blue Island Arts Alliance, our public works, our fire, our police. Thank you. I attended a ribbon cutting at the new ADA accessibility ramp at the SEPA fountain, the Lou Viverito SEPA station number 3, I think. That was a combination effort from the city of Blue Island Chamber, and the Blue Island Progress Center for Disabilities, and our ad hoc Blue Island Disability Committee. City officials attended that went through the ribbon cutting, along with the MWRD board, our state representative Bob Rita, and a few other elected dignitaries. So it was a great turnout, and it showcases something that's a hidden gem in town, our waterfall park. If you have never been there, and surprisingly, I still run into people that have never been there, that have lived here all their lives, which is shocking. Please go see the waterfall park. It is maintained in a joint effort between the city, our public works department, and MWRD, and it's probably the best looking SEPA station along the Calumet River. So please, if you haven't already seen that or visited, take a stroll down there. Francisco Avenue Sidewalk Project, Cook County, it's an unincorporated area between Broadway and Wyerton/Vermont Road. Most portions do not have a sidewalk. For years, the city has been requesting sidewalk, years. I believe even Mark Patosco was an alderman, they were requesting this. So finally, Cook County is going to put a sidewalk in, primarily for the safety of students going to Eisenhower. But part of the process is to have a public hearing. We volunteered our location here for accessibility reasons, and I believe that's Thursday at 5:30 here at the East Annex. Tomorrow at 5:30, Wednesday, I'm sorry. And it's just a checking the box. We all want it. If you have something passionate to say about the area, please come to the public hearing. It is an unincorporated area. We don't have direct jurisdiction. The county does. Therefore, they have to go through this process. So they're going to put a sidewalk in from Broadway northbound to Wyerton, Vermont Road. Police Department, we have cop on the rooftop this May 15th, at both Dunkin' Donuts locations from 5 a.m. to noon. So make sure you pay stop at Dunkin' Donuts, support our police officers. They usually send, what do you guys sell, t-shirts and stuff like that outside there? Yeah. Well, hopefully you guys get at least in the top 5 police departments, at least. I don't know. And just want to mention again, the city passed an ordinance. We do now hire lateral hires for the police department. So if you know an officer in a different police department that is excellent, that you want to recommend to the Blue Island Police Department, you can bring them over, refer them to Chief Slattery, and maybe we can steal and get a police officer here in town. Something we never allowed before. All right, that's all I have for mayor's announcements.
Again, on behalf of my, the Art Alliance Committee, which I'm on, a big thank you to everyone that helped out, supported. It was the best year. It was the best for sponsorship. It was the best for vendors. It was just the best for people attending. It was top notch. This Sunday, we will be getting our color on, so you can help build the planters along Western Avenue and Old Western. In front of City Hall, and I do have some extra pink t-shirts I could give out to you if you guys show up. June 13th, we are doing a CG Refresh 2.0. Val Kehoe and Sandra Wells are going to head it. We have a team coming out. We're going to rebuild the garden of the California Gardens, build picnic tables, benches, and fix the fence. And also Alderman Dexter Johnson will be barbecuing for you. So we have to sign up ahead of time. They have t-shirts for us. So you can sign up in the clerk's office. It will be 7:30 on June 13th. We will meet at the rec center. City stickers are on sale. Don't forget to pay. You can stop at the clerk's office or you can do it online. The clerk's office will be open the month of June on Saturdays from 8 to 12. So all the times are open for you guys. The Hometown Heroes will be going up very soon. The library will have a display also. They will be going on Western Avenue from 119th to 100 and what's the bridge on Western, all the way down? 139.
All the way down.
And then Vermont Street from the bridge.
Wyerton Bridge to I-57.
Yep. So there's gonna be a lot of Hometown Heroes. We have 100 of them. So every other banner will be a Hometown Hero banner. This week is City Hall. The employees kicked off Municipal Clerks Week. We did a little different. We did the spirit. So every day we did something different, the building department and the clerk's office. So I would like to thank the building and the clerk's staff for their continued service, commitment, and teamwork serving our community. Please stop by and visit us on Friday, and we'll make chocolate chip cookies for you.
City Clerk.
Inadvertently, the treasurer's report was left out of the packet, so we will have the treasurer's report next council meeting. Thank you. No report.
Sorry. City attorney, we have executive? Short executive, all right. City administration?
A couple quick things. The lack of the treasurer's report is on the administration, not on the treasurer, just to be clear. City stickers have started to be sold at the city clerk's office, so I encourage your residents to get there before we get to the closer to the deadlines and the lines get longer. We got the nice America 250 logo design that we did this year. And just one other thing I wanted to address to the council. You may have seen there was a news report this week on Fox 32 in relation to a recent break-in at a gaming facility. Why Fox chose, there was nothing particularly unique about this break-in, why Fox chose to do it. I think the reporter was just close to Blue Island and so it had some convenience there. But that said, 68, well, close to 70%, but 68% of municipalities in Cook County have legalized gaming machines. All of them have dealt with this in some form or fashion over the past couple of years. So it's a legitimate problem we're having with these break-ins. They're very quick crimes. They're very, our police department's response time, the most recent one was less than a minute. Well, still not sufficient enough to make an arrest there. So we're still investigating, obviously, still working. Our police department is working very closely with Cook County, with the Illinois State Police, and with our neighboring municipal police departments. There's some elements that the police department would prefer. I do not highlight or go into great detail about some of the efforts and steps that they are taking so as not to broadcast to bad actors that make their life easier. It's a very difficult problem. I was in Oak Lawn over the weekend talking with a couple tavern owners there. Oak Lawn is dealing with this almost every weekend. Evergreen Park is dealing with it. We're dealing with it. It's not a unique problem. It's recent in the past 2 years or so. I know that at this council level, we've talked about some additional security measures and updating our codes to allow businesses to harden their businesses a little bit. I believe there will be some ordinance language moving forward around that. Obviously, we don't have a crystal ball here, but we're working in every capacity. We're working with the business owners. Myself, Chief Haywood, and Chief Slattery have met with a couple of the vendors that do these various security things, so we're understanding what their security improvements would look like. We're going to continue working on this, but I just wanted to know, because I know it's very important for the business community in town. A lot of our owners, establishment owners are frustrated. We're frustrated, but we are continuing to fight these crimes and investigate these. And we're going to keep at it until this current wave is subsided. So just wanted to give that update. And there's one other update just for me personally. This weekend was the first time I got to go get my first 9 holes in at the Meadows this year. That was the most crowded. It was 4:30 on Saturday, 5:30 on Saturday. It was the most crowded I've ever seen that course in 30+ years of playing it. It was absolutely stacked to the gills. And the course itself looked very good. So I think we had close to 200 bookings, which might be a 1-day record for the Meadows. We're looking at that. But anyway, it was a sight to see as many cars as I saw out there. So it was encouraging. So that's all I have, unless there's any questions for me.
Alderman Johnson.
Question. Are we gonna ever go back to letting like the kids, and we had like a competition for making the city stickers?
I'm not opposed.
It's just something like each school could participate and take the best and then rate. Our clerk is very good at doing that.
I think everybody sort of gave that a pause when they had a little bit of a problem at the city of Chicago level with that. If you recall, I think that sort of scared, but I think we have a discerning enough eye that we could accept a list of finalists, I think, without running into any similar problems.
Sounds like clerk's got to add it to it.
I would love it.
But that sounds like a pretty good city clerk job to me.
Add it to the list, Ryan.
All right. Anything else? Any questions for Ms. Rogan? If not, moving on to aldermanic announcements, reports, or comments.
I had a comment, Mayor, if I may.
Alderman Roll.
Yeah, thank you. First, I just wanted to thank the members of the public who came out tonight. I apologize I was not able to be there myself, but it's just inspiring to see and to hear. I particularly appreciate the comment about future opportunity. I think I heard what that cost could be is tonight, the passion, the people who want to open a business, the people who want to retire in peace. I think it's very evident what the community wants here. And so just thank you to everybody who came out to be heard. I know I shake too when I have to speak publicly. And then I did just have a couple of residents reach out. They asked that I share their concerns because they could not be here tonight as well. They live on Union, near me at Elm Street. They share concerns about a data center, specifically the site of the hospital. They would like to see that site better used. And they also would like to see the city address traffic patterns around our schools, and in this case, Eisenhower and trains can complicate traffic patterns there. And they asked that I raise this, so thank you.
Thank you. Alderman McGee, I saw your hand.
I just wanted to thank everybody who came out today, to support, Paul Revere Intermediate, the PTO. We had a McDonald's fundraiser today and much appreciated everybody that came out. They dropped everything and came on out. So I really appreciate that. One last thing, I wish for a speedy recovery for, a crossing guard, that was, in an accident earlier today. So, hopefully she has a speedy recovery.
Thank you. Alderman Fairwell.
Two quick things. One is that regarding the data center, I don't want to, say anything about the merits of it because we've heard all about that, obviously. But Mr. Mayor, I know you and I've been very, very complimentary of you many times about how clean the city is. And the hospital site has become a blight. And I would suggest that before we even talk to them, we don't talk to them until that's cleaned up. It's a mess down there. And just a quick note, I've mentioned several times already, but Sunday at 10 a.m. is the flower planting. Val makes it real easy, very rewarding. It's a nice day. You don't have to really work that hard and you feel really good when you're done. So I encourage you to show up.
Thank you. Nancy, Treasurer Rita.
I apologize. I should have probably said this under treasurer's remarks. I also wanted to piggyback on the alderman's. Thank you so much for everybody that came out. It was great to see everybody. Was really happy to see people come up. I know it's nerve-wracking to speak in front of a room full of people, but it's important that we hear you and see you. So again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I appreciate it.
Any other aldermen, elected officials? Alderman Johnson.
I just want to thank everybody who collaborated with our cleanup. We did a great job everywhere in the city of Blue Island. I have to kind of piggyback on Alderman Fairwell. If we can clean up the rest of our city, they can take care of their part too. For sure.
Thank you. Anybody else? If not, we do have an executive. Is there a motion to adjourn? Alderman Fairwell, seconded by Alderman McGee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Regular session, regular city council meeting, a motion from an alderman to reconvene open session. Alderman Fairwell, second. Alderman Johnson, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Talk about imminent litigation and property issues. All right, we need a motion to adjourn this meeting to open up the committee meetings. Is there a motion to adjourn the regular meeting? Alderman Montoya, second by Alderman Carl, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
All right, I'll stop this. All right.
All right. Following the committee meeting of the whole, May 12th, 8:57 PM. Call this in order. We'll skip the pledge. We did it once. Roll call.
Alderman Johnson,
Here.
Alderman Montoya,
Here.
Alderman Ruthenberg,
Here.
Alderman Fairwell,
Here.
Alderman McGee,
Here.
Alderman Carr. Here. Alderman Roll.
Here.
7 present, Your Honor.
Okay, moving on. Public comment. Is there any public comment for the committee meeting? Yep.
Thank you, guys. I'll make this real quick. I noticed that you're gonna be talking about banning scooters, mini bikes. If I can just give my 2 cents on this, it's kind of silly, but not. So I do have a vehicle, and also since 2017, I also have an e-scooter and an e-bike. And I will say it's definitely not a good idea to ban it, but maybe do a pilot or some kind of thing where you guys test the waters. For myself, having an e-scooter and e-bike in my car actually makes sense to have that like quick ride to like my last mile. I can park far and just jump on my scooter, get to where I gotta go. It's really smart. I do believe like there should be rules, no sidewalks, of course. Yeah, so definitely, I just saw the banning scooters. I'm like, let me say something. I think they're smart and efficient. Definitely, you guys should consider not banning. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, moving on. Discussion regarding Sacramento road improvements. The section of Sacramento south of Broadway is fronted by one junkyard. It's a street that's owned by the city of Blue Island and also the village of Robbins. The owner of the junkyard, auto salvage or whatever the correct term of it is, would like to pave it out of their own expense. Fortunately, the city owns the property. So I'm letting y'all 100, who wants to Google the address, south of Broadway, like 136 in Sacramento. Something like that. Yeah, it's in Alderman Johnson's ward. I said we will entertain getting estimates and possibly bring it forward, but I told them repaving streets are not repaving parking lots. It's going to be expensive. So I just want to make you aware, we're going to get estimates, possibly we do this at the cost of a private individual, not the city. I wanted to give you a heads up that something we're going to be looking into at the request of the only owner on that street.
And I've been trying to get that road repaired since I've been in office. Still.
So that's
it's one piece of concrete going down the street. Everything else is gone. Seriously.
There's nothing down there. I've driven it. It's all great.
Mr. Frank had put a sewer system in because it was flooding at the time. Yeah. So people have stepped in and did some things to make it livable, but as the mayor spoke, half of it is only for province. And they're not doing anything.
No, and I spoke to the village president, Darren Bryant. He's in favor of us doing this. If the owner agreed to pay for this, we would have to do an IGA where we're allowed to pay the Robbins side. So. Someone to Google it for us.
13545 Sacramento.
Thank you.
And half the street is Blue Island, the other half is Robbins.
It's like
There's
two
really
lots long.
not really anything on Robbins side as much now.
It's vacant lots.
Vacant lots, but on the other side is all our Blue Island homes, because how the street is pitched. It floods that whole area, and then like I said, Mr. Sons took the funds out of his own pocket and put a sewer system on, so it at least dry.
So there'll be more information in the future about this. I just wanted to update the council. Napleton, I have no further update in the last meeting. Our attorney met with the owner of Paul Napleton. He'd like to redevelop the site. I have no further updates from the last meeting that I mentioned this. I just put this on as a placeholder that he'd like to redevelop it, redevelop the party. Discussion regarding fencing for commercial properties. So this item was brought up. Our language is very vague. In commercial properties, you're allowed to exceed 6 feet. We're asking for the exception based on building department review. If your property frontages a commercial area, just that section of fencing is allowed to go up to 8 feet. Other similar towns do similar things, because it'd be like your back face Western Avenue behind AutoZone, for example, and if you have an 8-foot fence now, they want to replace an 8-foot fence. Normally, it has to go through planning and zoning, we have to publish stuff in the papers, we have meetings just on fencing. This would save a lot of money in legal postings. For most of the time, 99% of the time it's approved. Is there any question? Alderman Fairwell and Treasurer Rita.
Are we gonna retain any rights to, have a say in the materials used?
It still follows the same code, which I believe it's no white plastic fencing. And other than that, I think we discourage chain link.
Yeah, okay, good.
So, yes. And it would be approved case by case basis based on the building department review of the site. Same thing we do with planning and zoning. We're just trying to streamline some things that we get all the time. And sometimes literally all that's on the agenda for these planning and zoning meetings is a fence approval.
Okay, so I brought this actually to, committee as a whole. It was brought to my attention by a homeowner, which I never would have thought of just because I've lived on the east side my whole life. And their property is uptown and, on, I don't know what street. On Artesian. So their backyard lines up with, business on Western Avenue. And when you look down the alley, all those homes have to look at the different businesses. And I said, this is ridiculous that you have to jump through all these hoops. First of all, you already have a fence that's been there for 100 years. Secondly, you want to improve your property. You want to update your fence. And I just think it's kind of ridiculous, especially if you already have an existing fence there. And then also to be looking at the businesses, like for instance, AutoZone. They're in the parking lot and fixing the cars or doing whatever, you know what I mean? Or Rand, your home is right up to Thornton's. I never thought of it. I don't know why, but when it was brought to my attention, I'm like, holy cow, I wouldn't want to look at that.
And some people
You know?
have gotten variance, they just have to go through a bunch of hoops, pay a $400 fee to go through planning and zoning.
I think
It's
it's
just
ridiculous.
burdensome, and if the council doesn't have an opposition, it would be one line tweak in an ordinance at a future meeting. Just wanted to put it on Kyle, obviously. If there's any questions, we have 2 weeks to think about it.
And especially for replacing, right?
And this would be,
This looked like it said language for a new fence
any fence facing commercial.
or existing.
Yeah, that would cover any fence facing commercial.
It's just stop some of this extra red tape for people who want to improve their homes.
This is, so I think it's the rear property or the side property, that would.
Yeah, if you're,
And up to 8 feet. Up to 8 feet. And other, I guess, villages and cities have the same thing, so we're, any issues? Next garbage contract, nothing on here except that it expires next year. Had dealt with a complaint a few weeks ago, like we all have with our garbage service. So letting you know, expires next year in 27. Want to put on the radar and then attach to the contract. It's been several years since we did this, like 5 years ago. Review it. If you have any suggestions while we work on towards maybe in the fall or spring going out to bid for this, then we might make some tweaks. I just know that there's been contention in the past. I want to be extra transparent, bringing it up now and attaching a copy of it, so we're not looking for it. If there's any changes that you guys suggest.
I have an idea. We do have a lot of people that come in and complain.
I know.
Should I just start keeping like a spreadsheet or
If you want to,
You know,
the majority of the issues.
see what the issue is, we do get several phone calls, everyone complains. You say, keep a spreadsheet.
just like they used to complain about the previous.
We were around for the previous republic,
Yeah.
I would just say, in my experience, there was a time when we had a number of, because I haven't had a complaint about it in a long time.
or whatever.
Sometimes they complain like, oh, they didn't pick my garbage, so then you call, they go and check it, and the garbage was picked up, but you didn't have your garbage out on time, so there's a lot of, we get a lot of that also.
I've had complaints, from residents, in the past as well. They've been far too in between now. But, the company's always, come the next day or, pick up this garbage can. Well,
As long as you call Garcia right away, if you call Public Works, they usually take care of it right away.
And what I'm talking about,
No, I know, but
Bill-
you
Bill.
contact them.
Well, I know one of the major changes that we did the last time we looked at this was the bulk pickup. Correct?
Yeah, thank you. I was just gonna ask do we have a sense that that's working pretty smoothly now, given the sort of division of duties?
That's additional questions we had. I know we're saving money, but I'd like to get all the information compiled before we make a final decision, Alderman. 100% agree. We should see how much savings we are. The city did all pick up prior to this contract. If you guys are jogging your memory now.
Oh, yeah.
I do, I know from, our former superintendent was told we're saving a lot of money on, roll-off dumpsters, but I would like to see stuff on paper. I'm just, again, bringing this up, crossed my mind. Someone asked me when the contract was up, caused me to look into it, and I said, let's put it on the next.
I can tell you one thing, we go through a lot of those mattress bags.
Yeah.
A lot, so we do keep track of that.
Any other questions on this?
Yeah, appreciate it, Mayor. And, it's just for the 7th ward, at least, we don't have too many complaints, but whatever you guys can compile, I think that would help us.
Thank you. So no action on obviously none of this stuff, but this is just really no action. We're a year in advance. I just want to put it on your radar. Scooters, mini bikes, again, has brought up several complaints. There's a lot of riding on city sidewalks is the biggest issue. I attached an ordinance from Evergreen Park, I believe. Nothing needs to be made right now. This is just a committee meeting to bring up the idea. If we do want to set any controls here, please look at this ordinance. We might want to make some changes. We might not do anything at all, but I want you to review it, throw some ideas out there. I think at the very least, I know the police department would like something saying we don't allow it on city sidewalks. And there is, miles per hour, guidelines we can set. Registration, the state law requires, I think, 22 miles an hour. I'm not sure what it is, Commander.
Yeah.
We're not abiding that either because we have nothing in ordinance, but we can at least mirror.
They need lights.
That's the thing. We can at least mirror in ordinance the state requirements. We don't have anything on record right now. So we need to do something. I just don't know how severe we want to go. Alderman.
I very much appreciate your comments because they certainly do serve a purpose, but I also do see, kind of wild abuses going on out there. We gotta do something.
I think that, the example that we're using here is too restrictive. Being, 18, you have to be 18 years old, you have to have a valid driver's license. I mean, if you're 18 years old, you're gonna be driving. You have a driver's license, you're gonna be driving. People that have e-bikes use them to commute back and forth, to work or whatever, in order, because maybe they can't drive. So, to have these restrictions, I think that's up to punitive. And, I really think that,
But I think that would be a safety issue too, because right now they're driving to my house.
Yeah.
Up and down the street, and it's late at night, and you can't see it, there's no lights on.
Yeah.
So it's dangerous.
Alderman Carmen, try to keep. Alderman.
Well, I was gonna say, the same thing, that you want, there's kids
Can't
in
hear.
my area who are on.
Mike's-
Yes,
Mike's-
Can't hear you, man.
There's kids in my neighborhood, gas-driven mini bikes.
Yeah.
No headlights, no taillights. And they're zipping around after sunset.
Absolutely.
And if they get hit, then we're gonna be sued. It's gonna be the city's fault if their parents let them out on these bikes at night.
Here's what I'm gonna suggest. I'm hearing everybody's comments here. I say we look at what the minimum state, we gotta do it. Minimum what the state requires, and it probably answers Alderman McGee's situation with the age, and it will also answer the headlight issue, because I know you need headlights when you're going after certain miles per hour. I know we don't want them on the sidewalks. So there's some common things here. We can put a bare minimum, and then if we need to tweak it, we can tweak it.
Do they even sell them with headlights?
Yeah.
I support starting with a bare minimum. And is this like, sorry if I'm cutting in weird. I support starting with a bare minimum. And I was just wondering, like, are we reacting to a current problem? Like, I guess, how would we characterize the problem? Have there been safety incidents, or is it just sort of trying to preempt it?
yes, there has been issues. I know the police department's brought them up to me, not to mention a lot of messages through just my mayor Facebook in the city, where it's more imminent now than it was last year, especially on city sidewalks. As the city clerk just mentioned, and the alderman mentioned, yeah, we're seeing a lot more of them. I've seen a lot more of them just myself.
Like Alderman Carr said, it's after like in the evening, after dusk, it's dangerous out there.
And they don't follow the normal law, like stopping at a stop sign. I had an incident down in my area where the guy blew the stop sign with the big bike and T-boned before it exploded.
So I think, I agree, let's do Alderman.
I think it should be kind of treated, more like the bicycle is here in Broadway. However, I think even our bicycle, policy that we're, so that we have, I think we need to relook at the ordinance that we already have in place on bicycles. It doesn't cover, if you read it, the description of it says two, bicycles, two wheels. Well, there's bicycles and three, there's, so, I mean, it doesn't cover everything. There's all kinds of, different, ways you can modify, devices in order to, you can put a motor on, damn near anything, so, it's just.
Because they had
And also, I think there's, it has to follow, like, if it's a has a motor on it, it has to follow all the criteria of a motor vehicle, so then we have to, license plate as well. I think that was, one of the things, so how many people have bikes with, license plates?
I think, we start with the bare minimum, and then we can review the bicycle one too. And if it's not what we want it, we can modify it on the floor in 2 weeks, and we can table it. So it's just something, we have nothing right now, so we can start with.
And then we got to go by the inches of the bike too, because, it's different between a tricycle and a big wheel, you know what I mean? But in a kid on, learning versus somebody with a 10 speed or some of those, racing bikes.
I think our current ordinance is say no bicycles on the sidewalk, right? Well then, how do you teach your kid how to ride a bike?
I was arguing with somebody recently about this, they didn't believe me. I know, because I got a ticket when I was a kid riding on a sidewalk on Canal Street.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm telling you, it was on the sidewalk. I said, "What?"
Find that ticket.
It was like a housing ticket or something there back in the day. I didn't know that. You must have read that. That is true. Can't be on the sidewalk.
Again, I think we, using banning them, I think that's a little
Steep.
harsh, but, regulation. We need
All right.
to work on.
Loud and clear. We'll do bare minimum and start with that, bring it to the next meeting. Building permit fees, again, nothing, no action here. We attach the current fees. Obviously, we haven't changed any of these fees in many, 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 many years. We've never done it as this body. I was brought, other neighboring towns' fee structures. A lot of times we're higher, sometimes we're lower, sometimes there's caps. We don't have caps. Some percentages are higher, some percentages are lower. I'm gonna start having our administration, along with the building department, analyzing neighboring fees. So you might see ideas brought to future meetings. Nothing yet, but it's something I'd like to finally do. We've been hearing these. I know if anybody's been on the council for a while, we hear about our fees regarding the building department. So I copied it in here. If you have any suggestions, if you know what other town is doing good, please send them our way. I received so far, I think, Alsips and Cal Parks, Evergreen Parks. But something that we don't have to make a decision right away, but I want to look at it, something we've been talking about doing for 5 years now. Treasurer?
Are those fees included in I didn't see them in there, but maybe I didn't. There was a lot of material. Are the other towns' fees
Not yet.
in the bag?
No, we're gonna have to put them all in the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yes, I don't think, I haven't really had any issues about the permit fees, but I have had issues about the time. Getting, responded on whatever they need to get fixed or repaired. So I'm just saying, with those fees, are they calculated in like, giving them some more help?
We have some vacancies.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate Alderman Johnson's comments. I guess I'm thinking in the same direction, like, I kind of like to understand what it's costing us now to operate the department. See if, we can make improvements, whether it's to add capacity or efficiency. And then kind of stack what raising higher revenue looks like against that.
So I just update the council again, it's more of the administration and, we really only have one building commissioner. We have several people that used to be full-time that have now gone to part-time. We need to fill the ranks. We are low staffed compared to previous administrations and departments, so that probably contributes to the lag time in permits. I know by having conversations with our building commissioner, we've never had this many plans submitted in recent history of major construction jobs regarding MWRD, IDOT permits. We have 4 large projects simultaneously running right now on Western Avenue. Those require, even today, I signed 4 or 5 things that came out of the department for IDOT, tapping into sewers. So we're doing more, which is a good problem to have. And the building department is involved in street reconstruction. Everything we do, the building department has to have their eyes on. So we're doing a lot more, which is a good problem, but we are analyzing our workflow too, because we have some people that have cut down their hours, gone to part-time, and we probably should replace some full-time positions. So anyways, no decisions. We're just starting to look at it now. I want to bring it to the forefront. We're starting to look at it. So if you have anything from neighboring towns or any suggestions, please send them our way. Eisenhower traffic study, I found this on an old agenda. We talked about it over a year ago. We put a hold on it because the construction was going on. We want to wait for the construction of Eisenhower to be completed to see if we need to do a traffic study around the school to see if there's a better way to build that mousetrap, because right now, yes, it's safe and secure. It causes a lot of confusion as the complaints we're getting from the neighborhood. How it's one way, streets are only enforced a part of the day. Blocking off 127th during the day, pick up and drop off for safety, I agree. And I think the treasurer I know has some comments on this. She works at the school. But I wanted to bring it back up. Even if we wanted to do it, the optimal time as an educator, the seniors are already out of the building. And they're the biggest bulk of people driving to school. So I think we need to wait till August anyway, until school goes back into session to do this. I wanted to put up the agenda and don't forget about it. It's something we did discuss doing almost a year ago. I know the treasurer has some thought.
My comments are, I do think that we should include the, security team or the head of security and, I think it's one of the officers who help with the traffic before and after school, because I know for a long while it was kind of a mess, and it seems like, although I'm not out there all the time at the time of drop off and pickup, it does seem like it's better and it's safer now that there's one way going, but I don't live there. I'm just talking as a person, as an employee there, but I just think that we should include some of the people that work there. And their reasons for why they have this.
I mean, at this point, is a general consensus to talk about doing this in the fall? Or do we need to do this, is your opinion? Because if we don't need to do it, we won't do it. Do you think there's a need to at least look into some options?
I would appreciate it. Just for my part, I know it would be a big relief to folks who live there. I agree. I think over time people have gotten more accustomed to it, but I think it's worth looking into at least to see how other schools in similarly dense urban areas sort of handle traffic pattern issues and parking issues, things like that. So I was glad to see it on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll let our engineer know that this is a topic that we're looking into. Obviously, we can't do anything until the fall, and have us bring us some options. I'll loop in the superintendent at 218, and I'm sure he's got things he wants to contribute to. And as treasurer say, we have to sit down and talk and involve the security team there, and it's necessary also. All right, lead line service. Who wants to talk about this? I'm losing my voice. It's a grant, good problem to have, but ready to move on to the next step.
As you are aware of, for the last year, we've been working on the lead service line inventory project. We've been working with the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency for a forgivable loan to actually replace these lead service lines. We were successful in achieving or being awarded the forgivable loan from the IEPA. It's for $1.4 million. This is phase 1. We went out to bid. There were, I believe, four people that bid on the project. The lowest responsible bidder, which is included in your packet, is give the name one more time, Millennium Contracting Company. And their bid amount was $1.4 million. So we would be working to determine this. Right now, we are looking at replacing a water main on Division Street because we're, have low water pressure issues in the third ward. And this would basically, as we're replacing replacing the water main on Division Street, once you touch the lead service line, you have to replace the lead service line. So this would basically be our phase one lead service replacement.
Any questions?
How did we assess like locations and priority?
I know
Or do we have a
water
complete
main-
sort of assessment? Sorry.
Water main, the first priority in town by breaks was Sacramento, which we did last year. The second priority was Division. Even now, we had a break a few days ago on Division. It's probably once a week on that line. And then the third is another break further south along Broadway, which would be a third priority. The water department keeps track of how many breaks per line. This would be the second one. We did Sacramento, which was much worse than this. This would be the secondary.
And Sacramento was Philly was did the bad A word. And at the same time, when they replaced the water main on Sacramento, they also replaced the service lines to the residential homes in that area as well.
Alderman Johnson.
Yeah, so when we do that process, do we also repay, put that on the agenda for the get paid?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, at some point, you're gonna see that when they are doing lead service line replacements, I mean, it's so surgical now that they're only cutting literally like a 2 foot by 2 foot section in the pavement in the street at the water main. And they're able to have a machine that basically feeds it underground into the foundation.
Yeah, because I knew before previous, we was trying to get, I guess, more or less the low hanging fruit. So I know the mayor had mentioned about, having the camera systems and, trying to move around in that aspect to make our dollars stretch but still have a necessary impact. So that's why I was asking about if we're gonna be replacing those lines. Is that street also on the list to be paid?
So the street hasn't been done in 30 years, so yes,
Right.
it would be it needs to be repaved anyway.
Right, and so I was just making sure we don't pave over something that needs to be repaired up.
Correct. And I mean, really, our engineers and our water department are giving us that feedback. They're doing the modeling on the water pressure. There's not enough water pressure when, if there's a fire in the third ward, you're not getting enough pressure. They put out that fire sometimes and stuff like that. And there's also time the water main breaks, such. The old water main that actually goes over the Division Street Bridge.
Thanks, Margo.
Any other comments, questions on this? Next, we have agenda item brought up by Alderman Fairwell regarding audiovisual capabilities of city council meetings. I believe we did get some estimates. At least we got to discuss it. Anybody want to talk about it?
So we've heard from some members of the public that she's calling now, that I was gonna give her some credit. This was her big moment. So, we do have a little bit of an issue with listening to YouTube recordings of everybody being able to be equally heard. Also have the same issue, our deputy clerk, who has to do the minutes, has also expressed the same concerns. At issue, obviously, part of it is our layout here, right? So there's a natural desire to look at somebody when you're talking to them, right? So when there's interactions going on between council and the mayor, there's a lot of turning away, and then we're losing the voice, and et cetera, et cetera. So a couple things, we are looking at Commander Seppas, we're just having this discussion a little bit earlier tonight, looking at potentially altering the layout here. Something that there's other models of other city councils that we can look at. Alter the layout so that you're maybe more facing each other and inwards, so it's not outwards like this, right? And then also we might kind of structure it to where Mr. Petoskey and I would also have a little mini, so there's a structure that'd be a little bit more universally found in a lot of council meetings and committee room hearing room, stuff like that. As for investment on AV side, St. Benedict you were looking at? St. Cat. So we're looking at just church, local church online that is very clear and very, so I got some information on the cameras they purchased, and they're not out of the realm of what we could do. So we think we will be looking at bringing forth some purchase plans on replacing maybe that camera with something that's a little sharper, a little clearer, and then maybe that combined with layout. I mean, I think most of our AV stuff is pretty good in terms of when we last modernized it. Our microphones are working. It's just how we're set up to communicate with each other that doesn't keep us free to force you guys to turn away from each other. we still haven't figured out the volume on the Zoom. Sorry about that. If you're all refer, like I told you before, when you're calling in from Zoom, you're gonna have the booming voice of from on high. Just that we'll figure out how to get that volume down. We're not quite sure about it yet. So that's our approach right now. We're looking at a potential change of layout to address the movements, as it were, and the kind of the normal conversation, and some investment in new equipment on the visual side.
Questions? Okay, so I appreciate very much that you're doing this. Regarding the cameras, some years ago, we had an actual cameraman, and that's an expense, I understand that. But it would be, and I'm glad you're looking at camera options. What I find when I look at this on, on TV, and you're addressing this issue with this is sort of the eagle's nest up here, the whole world out there, and you can't see much. So if there's anything that we can do to kind of move closer to a little bit more of an engaging, camera angles and so forth, I don't know how to do it, but it would be great to do something.
So what we can look into is there is technology available that essentially would be, probably a maybe 3 camera setup,
Yeah,
but you'd have the eye in the sky, as it were, and we'd have something more baseline, but then what would have to happen is it's gotta be audio triggered by your speaking, right?
That's
When
right.
Ruthenberg says something, it goes to him. When Alder Farewell says something, it goes to him. It's a brave new digital world. There's lots of opportunities, lots of options we can do. We'll price it out. We'll get a few tiers of what, a Dodge Neon versus a Cadillac looks like in this realm, so to speak. So yeah, that's, but I think we can do, so I've seen examples.
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah. Treasury is good.
Okay, so now I'm really dating myself, but I do remember at one point that, I believe there was Eisenhower students that used to, also help. And I do know that they did away with the production, but I believe they're bringing it back. That might be another possibility. I don't know if they can earn credit or something, or.
Yeah, well, what was it, he was saying it's
Thanks.
Yeah, great. Where's Ben?
Well, that was tied to the TV network that is no longer operational, so we did move to a digital format, which required a little bit less investment in staffing. That said, we want to give as we saw here tonight, sometimes we have issues that the community very much wants to know and hear about, so we want to try to meet that demand as much as possible.
Okay, last thing we have. Currently, our liquor code, prohibits within so many feet of parks and schools. Am I saying that right? I'm not. Churches, schools. It does not list library. I'd like to add library. It's included everywhere else, I'm sure at one time, because that was a lodge for the Elks. It was probably not included at the time for that reason. So I'd like to include library as a distance requirement. Alderman Johnson.
Yes, I concur with you on that. I also know that like if a business wants to have an alcohol license, they would have to go through proper procedures, right? To acquire it.
Yes, but if we exclude it, depending on the severity we exclude, if we're just excluding it, they can apply for one. The other option is it's excluded to have a regular license, or they can only ask for a special use one as needed. There's 2 options to do this.
Because I know I'm going to have a situation coming up in California Gardens where that hotel is located. And I have a great demand that they do not want a liquor store in or any alcohol sales.
How close is that to a church or a park?
It's right across the.
It's probably already excluded all.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they mentioned that's what they wanted to bring there.
It's 300 feet. It's 300 feet. So 300 feet is our code right now for any park, school, church, naval station, military naval station. That does not apply to hotels or restaurants. Okay, well, I'm fine with that. So I guess the issue is if we're fine with adding it, how severe do you want? Just blanketly not allow it? Or do you want me to allow it with special use only, like we have, like the park wants to have an event? I can do that too.
Yeah.
That's an as needed basis. As a liquor commissioner, I can do that. They won't have a standing liquor license, meaning they can't operate a tavern. But if they want to have an event,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that too. That way we still have a lot of control over the situation. So if you're not opposed, I can do that. That's fine too. I just read that gives me the authority to do it. So I'm sorry it wasn't in the packet. We missed it. But library, for whatever reason, wasn't included. I was shocked when I was told this. It probably was because we have a history of having many taverns in town. So,
Yeah. Here,
yeah,
this, I don't know, this was in my.
that was part of the garbage contract.
Oh,
Because they, we remember we negotiated, they pick all the business district garbage for free.
all right, well then, I'm gonna use this opportunity to kind of slip something in the agenda if I might.
All right.
And looking at the the business development district, I noticed that there's a hole that we left intentionally where there used to be a hospital. And I would like it if that hole was filled in. ASAP.
Why was that done? Is it excluded? No, it's in there.
Isn't it? What
Yeah.
am I looking at? What's this big hole in?
That's the rail yard to the right. What's that now? It's Irving Street Apartments is not in there. That, the hospital is. it's got
Oh,
a
that's,
blue cross.
okay, oh, the
Yeah,
hospital
yeah.
is, okay, all right.
Yeah, all that's in there. I was like, oh, okay.
You sure, right?
Yep, it's that big, huge, if you look right there, you can see the big white roof line of the hospital.
Oh,
That's
got it,
library.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha, okay, that's good.
That was shocking if it wasn't in there. It'd be like, why? How did they
Yeah,
call
no,
it
I
paper?
thought that was, okay, good. Then we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll do as needed basis. It's a start, I guess.
The closest, alcohol sales place is to, Rick's.
Just straight tavern would be Lear for double play, but that's more than 300 feet. 300 feet's like half a block. I know I counted 700 when we did the cannabis license. I physically went out and counted. So, like I want at least a block distance, so I went out and that's where I got the 700 feet for a block. I got a lot of history of walking that streets, okay, on the western, yeah. But 300 feet's like half a block. City block. All the restaurants are excluded. Yeah, and I don't want to hurt restaurants. If there's primary business is food and secondary is alcohol, they're excluded in our ordinance altogether. Any other questions? Is that everything I got on here? All right, I already mentioned my announcements from before. City clerk, you got anything?
Yeah, on Monday, May 18th, out in Dexter, we will be starting a free cleanup in your California Gardens. So feel free about 5 o'clock to join us. Anybody?
Are you still coming down for, the neighborhood watch?
What is that?
Tomorrow,
I'll be there. What time?
6.
I will be there.
All right.
City attorney.
No report.
All right.
No.
City clerk.
No report.
City administration. Okay. Aldermanic announcements, comments, reports.
I did have one more comment, Mayor, if I may. Just regarding committees, since we changed the schedule tonight, I would like to see us use them more. I didn't know we had a quorum problem that this change was meant to address. But it's, it's late. It's 9:30. I think, trying to do more in this meeting space, it's difficult on a weeknight. I would like to see things like regular reports from department heads. And as much as we covered tonight, financially, I don't have good confidence in our liquidity if we're, approving payments for road work from last May and, other maybe expenses that are hard to time. So, again, I think this is the time and place to discuss things like land annexation or, our financial position. So, I'm willing to work or discuss. I wish we would have discussed it before voting it in tonight, but yeah, Mayor, I know we spoke about this directly, but just wanted to share this with.
No, I understand, and I have a suggestion, but we'll try. We had an hour of public comment tonight, and normally our meetings are not this long. I'd say we go down this road, we might have an hour of public comment, then we might have to adjust it. I have no problem moving the whole thing up to 6 o'clock. Other towns, Lansing, Elgin, a handful of other ones have adopted this policy, and it seems to be very favorable with the elected officials and public. We're in essence adding an additional meeting. I'm fine with watching and seeing if there's a way we want to tweak it. Maybe we move the meeting up, still knock everything out in one day, and then effectively adding another meeting. But we did have almost 50 some minutes of public comment tonight, which is unusual, very unusual for us. So I do understand your concern. So I'm thinking we keep an open mind and possibly if this continues down this pattern, which very well might.
Yeah, it may not be for the foreseeable, right?
Yeah, I mean, nothing was on the agenda with a lot of people here tonight, so if this continues, maybe we move it to 6. I'm open to stuff like that. I like the idea, at least back to back. It's adding another meeting. We're all here already. And we did have, I didn't compound it. I know the clerk keeps record for quorum purposes. We've had several meetings where I have to make the quorum, which I don't like doing. Treasurer.
I just want to piggyback off of Alderman Roll's comments. I agree 100%. And I've been saying this as well, that during committee of the whole, that we have department heads give a quick report, utilize the time. I've been saying this, so I appreciate you bringing it back up, Alderman.
I would just like to also consider that I would like to see more input from the departments. Not sure.
Now, I missed it tonight, because we switched it around, but if you notice the last 2 meetings I had, the police and fire department give reports. They all know they have to come to meetings, and this time gives them more opportunity to come to meetings, but yes, I have heard the concerns. I missed it tonight because we switched our schedule around, but yes, at the next meeting, there'll be department report. Any other questions, concerns? If not, we need a motion to adjourn. Motion, Alderman Fairwell, seconded by